It is my firm belief that a big part of the answer to everything we face today is the capacity of each of us to be unexpected and to give undeserved, unrewarded acts of kindness. Unexpected, undeserved, unrewarded acts of kindness are undeniable in their capacity to transform lives. 1965, I was a draft choice of the Green Bay Packers. In those days, there were 20 rounds in the NFL, and I was the last pick. I was undersized, I was too small, and I was too slow, and everybody knew it, except the people who drafted for the Green Bay Packers. Pat Pepler, the personnel man, told me the story, so I know it's true. Vince Lombardi turned to him at 2 a.m. and he said, "Pat, we've drafted 19 players. It's 2 in the morning. I'm exhausted. I'm going to bed. Do something humorous with the 20th selection." They did. So I show up in Green Bay, Wisconsin with my little bride up there, and I mean, you're talking about alien culture. Carolyn and I, lived out in Norcross, and we got a map of the USA out to see if Wisconsin were in the contiguous 48 states. I swear we did. I show up there 1,000 miles north, and here's this guy Lombardi, and he's yelling and screaming, and he's saying all these ugly things to me, and it's painful, and I'm scared. And plus, it's Wisconsin, it's August, it's 43 degrees. That ain't right. That ain't right. You're talking about weird. I was scared. I missed my wife. And here's the worst part. I'd never been in a huddle with an African American. We were at the height of the civil rights movement. We were burning cities. And here was Willie Davis and Dave Robinson and Willie Wood and Herb Adderley and, good gracious alive, Elijah Pitts. And I figured those guys would figure me out in a hurry. Hear my southern accent, injure me, and send me home. And I did not want to go home. I did not want to be embarrassed. I wanted so desperately to be a part of their team. I didn't have the vaguest idea how to communicate. And the most imposing of them all was Willie Davis. And I was just waiting for the shoe to fall. So I walked out of the dorm one night, and this happens precisely as I tell it. I've confirmed it with Willie. It was pitch black, dark, freezing cold. It's August. I really am terrified. And a voice comes out of the dark behind me. "Bill." I thought it was God. I just sat down in the grass. It was the defensive captain, Willie Davis, who, by the way, was working from Grambling State University, was working on his master's degree in business at the University of Chicago at the time. He shattered every racist stereotype that I had learned in my racist South background. He said, "I'd like to speak with you, son." I said, "This is it. He's going to tell me to go home." "Okay, Willie." He said, "I've been watching you at practice. I think you've got a chance to make our team. I'd like to help you." I said, "You what? You want to help me?" He said, "Yeah, I think you've got a chance to make our team. Look, listen to what happened to me." And he began to tell me the stories about his insecurities when he was young and he got traded from the Cleveland Browns over to the Packers. And then he said, "And the worst day of my life, Bill, we lost the World Championship game in 1960. It was the only big game those Lombardi teams ever lost. They got beat by the Eagles in Philadelphia for the championship." And Willie said, "I walked off that field," and he said, "I looked out there and there were newspapers blowing around, but I knew there was more than newspaper on that field. There were regrets on that football field, and I had left them there because Willie Davis had not given his very best." And he said, "I made up my mind in that instant, this will never happen to me again. And Bill, you come on our practice field, you leave no regrets, and you'll make our team. And if you don't think you can make it through the day and Vince is screaming at you and Ray Nitschke's snapping your face mask off again, and you think you're just going to die, you look over at me and I'll get you through it." You know what we called him? We called him Dr. Feelgood. I'd look at him and I would be dying and I would be bleeding. And I'd say, "How you feel, old man?" He'd say, "Feel good, man. You can do it." Now you tell me what that great man did for the terrified rookie. He didn't just help a guy to play in the National Football League for 10 years. In the twinkling of an eye, he changed my life. I could never look at a human being again, any human being, in the same way because of an unexpected, undeserved, unrewarded act of human kindness.